Hello Year 10 Real Math. So today we are starting our booklet work, okay, with our finance topic that we've been doing. So it still includes all of the stuff that we've done in terms of discounts and markups and selling price and simple interest and compound interest, but now we're working through our booklet worksheets. So basically we're looking at everyday situations like paying bills and budgeting our money, using credit cards, paying tax. So lots and lots of things that are actually going to be useful for you in the long run. So what we're going to be focusing on first up is calculating what we call monthly amounts. Okay, so a budget is basically a financial plan that's set within a specific time frame. It outlines all the amounts of income, expenditure, and savings. And a budget's pretty useful because it helps you determine where your money is going, what it's being spent on, and how we can sort of prepare to save for saving goals. So they can be prepared over like different time frames, okay? So usually they're done over 12 months where we include like our bills, our expenditure, what needs to be paid. So knowing how much money we're going to need in advance is probably going to help you when it comes to like paying for bills and things. So some questions that are related to what we're going to be working on is something like this. If I have been given $300, okay, and I want to convert it into a quarterly, bi-monthly, annual, and a weekly amount to a monthly amount. Okay, so I want to figure out if I am told that my phone bill comes every month and how much am I paying each month, but if your phone bill comes weekly, how much you were then paying every month. So converting these different amounts to month amounts. So say the first one here, $300 from a quarterly amount, okay? So in terms of looking up quarters, how many quarters are there in 1 year? There are 4, okay? So in terms of doing that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our $300, okay? We're going to times it by 4, okay? Because there are 4 quarters in a year. And then we need to divide this by 12, okay, because of the 12 months in a year, and we get 1,000 as our answer. All right, if we were doing bi-monthly means twice, okay, every second month. So basically we need to take the amount of money that we've got, $300, times it by 6, because there are 6 2-month periods, okay, times it by 6 and divide it by 12, which is going to equal $150 per month. Okay, if we were to pay things annually, okay, that means once a year. Okay, so we're looking at, again, monthly. What we're going to do is take that $300, there's 12 months in a year, so we're going to divide it by 12. That equals $25 per month. And of course, a weekly amount. In terms of a year, there are 52 weeks. Okay, so what we're going to have to do first off is times that 300 by 52. Okay, and whatever our answer is, divide it by 12 because we're looking at per month, which would end up equaling $1,300 per month. Okay, so the deal is here we are converting it to a monthly figure, which is why we've divided it by 12 each time. Okay, and then what the quarterly, bi-monthly, annually, or weekly are doing is figuring out here what we would be multiplying it by. Okay. All right. So what you are going to be doing is converting these weekly bills into monthly amounts. Okay. So question 1 basically refers to looking at following the same steps here. Question 2, we are converting quarterly bills. Question 3, we are converting annual, and question 4, we are converting bi-monthly. So looking at the exact questions here. So for quarterly, you are going to follow example A up here, that first one. Okay. For weekly, you are going to look at example D up here. Okay, so this one here. For annual, you are going to look at example C up here, which is this one that we did. And then for this one, bi-monthly, you are going to look at example B up here. But follow the exact same working out. The only thing that's changing for you is the 300 okay, into whatever amount of money they're asking you to do, but those steps will be the same. And then having a go at question 5. So again, figuring out whether it's asking you for 6 monthly, weekly, biannually, and having a go at that question there. All right. The next exercise that we are going to do is looking at our budgeting. So trying to create a budget. So what you would need to do is brainstorm your income and expenses. In column A, I want you to include all items that you spend money on throughout a year. So things like your mobile phone, takeaway food, birthday gifts, clothing, haircuts, toiletries, anything. You can include things that maybe your parents pay for as well, just to get an idea of maybe how much you're spending on you. Some examples have already kind of been filled in for you that you then need to put in column B, the actual amount that each thing is. So say your allowance is, I don't know, $70. You can write that here. And if it's monthly, you would write it as being $70 monthly. Okay, whatever it may be. So fill in this for you. You can use the template that's here, or you can draw one into your own books. We are then going to calculate total income and total expenses for the year. So to calculate your net surplus and deficiency, so how much you've made or how much you've lost, we have to then subtract our expenses from the income. So filling in this, if your income is more than your expenditure, we call it a surplus, meaning you've made money. But if your expenses are more than your income, we say it's a deficit, which means you might need to spend a little bit less money or find another source of income. Okay, so that's an investigation activity for you guys to have a look at your own expenditure and creating your own budget. The next lesson is going to look at what we call unit prices. So unit means looking at one particular item. So it's a good idea to compare prices when shopping if you want to get as much value for your money as possible. So it might be easier to compare prices for items that are identical in quantity than those in varying quantities. So an example could be 150 grams of chocolate is $2.50, but a 370 gram block of chocolate is $6.20. Which one is more value for money? Okay, because they're different sizes, the cost is different. So we might have to look at the cost per 100 grams or 100 mils. Okay, so an example, if we look at part A, okay, a 220 gram item sells for $5.95. We want to calculate the unit price for 100 grams. So what we have to do is we have to take that amount of money, $5.95, divided by how what the quantity is of that, so 220, which basically means that it's $0.027 per gram, okay? And because we're trying to find it for what it would be for 100 grams, we're going to take that 0.027, we're going to times it by 100, which equals $2.70. So for 100 grams, that is $2.70. Okay, if we look at part B, a 300 ml item sells for $2.50. We want to calculate again for 100 ml. So the same sort of steps, we take the amount of money that it is, it's $2.50. We divide it by the quantity, which is 330 ml. Okay, and that is going to equal 0.008 per mil. We take that 0.008 and we're going to times it by 100, which is going to give us 0.83 per 100 mil. Okay, so if we look at that, which is better value for money, the 350 ml carton of milk, okay, or a 1.5 litre bottle of milk for $4.50, we would compare the prices. So we do the money, so 1.75 divided by 350, and 4.5 divided by 1500. Whatever the answer is for both of them, we're going to multiply it by 100 and see per 100 mil which one is cheaper. So the first one gives us 50 cents per 100 mil. The second one is 30 cents per 100 mil. So we would definitely prefer to buy that second one because it's cheaper, so it's better value for money. So what you guys are going to be doing is basically comparing and calculating the unit price for different things, okay? So again, just doing the amount of money that it is, divide it by the quantity, so the amount, okay? and then multiplying whatever that is by 100 grams or 100 mil, whatever you're trying to find. All right, so having a go at those questions there, and you might be asked later on to compare different things to find out what is better value for money. And then we move on to investigation number 2, so setting up a house. Imagine you were moving out of home to live with some friends. What items from the supermarket would you need to purchase? So you can do this with a friend if you want to call them up and work through this together, or have a go at doing it on your own. Basically, determine a shopping list for the first week in your new home. I want you to use supermarket catalogs or visit supermarket websites for ideas and pricing information. So basically, write a list of things you might need in terms of food, bathroom, laundry, or other things that you think you might need in that house. And out of that list, I then want you to choose 5 items from each category and investigate which item you think is better value. Okay, so looking at maybe an example like 2 different cornflakes prices. They're different sizes, so they're going to be worth different prices. And using that formula from before, doing money divided by quantity times 100 to figure out which one is actually better value. There's some questions there for you to have a go at as well. All right, well, we'll stop there and I'll see you next lesson.